Welcome to a Counterpart Solutions SMAaRTCouncil demonstration. In this video, you will see a standard end-to-end waste management solution offered to councils. More specifically, you will be presented a scenario a customer is expected to face in the real world, and then shown how the solution's automation creates a seamless experience for said customer. What you're about to see is called a customer-centric workflow, which will capture the process when a customer reports an issue. The end-to-end means the process can be completely and entirely automated from the time the customer raises an issue, in which the only human contact is by the customer and a third-party contractor. The process demonstrated in this video is made possible by Counterpart Solutions' SMAaRTCouncil product. This product is a configuration and integration of out-of-the-box Oracle systems based on best practice approach, designed, architected, and created specifically to cater for council requirements. First, you will see the perspective of the customer when lodging a service request for a bin repair or replacement and receiving a confirmation message. Secondly, you will see the perspective of a council agent who can manage any aspect of the process or let the automation run. Finally, you will get an X-ray view of some of the automation that is happening in the back end of the system. This process covers the end-to-end life cycle of the service request. So let's get started. The process begins when the customer submits a service request for a bin repair via Oracle's Customer Experience or CX Customer Portal. This means the customer or contact record is updated to reflect that a service request has been made and is in progress, capturing and storing all the details. In this scenario specifically, the property that is linked to the customer or contact record is what drives the bin repair or replacement request. So, if the customer or contact did not initially have a bin, they would not be able to submit said bin-related request. This is just a snapshot of the capability of SMAaRTCouncil's Property 360-degree view. The service request in Oracle CX then triggers a job to be created in the third-party system via an integration. The contractor then completes the job in the field, updates their system, and then the same or another similar integration updates the service request status to be completed within CX. If the job is unable to be completed for whatever the reason, this can also be reflected in CX and either communicated back to the council customer or handled manually by a council agent. The original customer is then notified of the outcome via their preferred method of communication. So let's take a look at the system. To submit a request for a bin repair, I can start off in Oracle's Customer Portal and proceed to Rubbish and Recycling via the main page or this drop-down. Next, I go to Bin Services and then select Bin Repair or Replacement. Now, I can read this knowledge article that tells me everything I will need to know before I begin the interview. To begin, I will enter the property address as the owner. And if I enter an address that does not exist, the system will notify me. This is an example of how the Intelligent Advisor component deflects if certain configurable criteria are not met. I will then tick yes. The bin in question is still at my property. On this next screen, I can select which bin I believe requires repair and then where the damage is localized at. Let's say both the axle housing and wheels are damaged for an unknown reason. I can now indicate where I will leave this bin for pickup, and I can also select multiple bins. However, it's not necessary in this situation. Next, I can fill in my details. If a user does not already exist in the system, a new contact or customer record will be created. Otherwise, the incident will be added to an existing contact record. Also, these fields will automatically populate if I were logged in via the top right here. Finally, I can review and make changes to any of my previous answers before submitting. Also, if I do need to go back to a specific page of this interview for any reason, my answers are all saved as a draft. Immediately after submitting a request for a bin repair, I will receive a confirmation email. When I read through this email, I can see the bin I chose, the address of the bin I supplied, an incident number, and a contact phone number. I can also see that if I have selected an axle or the body of the bin for repair, I will need to replace my bin as these parts are not repairable. I am then given clear instructions on my next steps, which will be to empty my green bin and place it on the nature strip for it to be collected within the next few days. Let's now log into the SMAaRTCouncil CX dashboard from the perspective of the council agent. In this scenario, the agent is a waste admin. This is my home page where I can navigate dynamically to wherever I need to go. I can find recent service requests in multiple ways. I can see them on this left pane, search for them in this search bar, or use this menu drop-down. Here we have the bin request I submitted earlier. And this is what a service request looks like in the CX system. And now I have a plethora of information at my fingertips. On this Details tab, I can view an array of information that was captured by the customer and some other relevant info. For example, we have the overall subject, the service, which may look familiar because these categories are what you saw on the customer portal, the source of the incident, and much more. Moving on to communication, we can see any messages the system will send out automatically, and I can even edit these and add to or subtract from them manually. Under Rubbish and Recycling, we can also see the actual form the customer or I filled out. The customer details can also be viewed, which includes their incident history. So here we can see I submitted another bin repair request. And if I wanted to know more about that, I can use the reference number of the service request to search for it, or simply click into it here. In identical fashion, we can also look at the property details along with its own incident history. We call these the Customer 360-degree view and the Property 360-degree view, respectively. To conclude, as the waste admin, we can see the status of this service request is completed, which means the third-party contractor has indicated the work in the field is complete, and we can check if the customer has been notified via the Communication tab. Thank you for taking the time to watch this SMAaRTCouncil demonstration. If you would like to know more about Counterpart Solutions and/or the SMAaRTCouncil product, please contact us at info@counterpartsolutions.com and request a demo today.